Our brains have 5 different brain waves, and every time we access any of these brain waves, we actually access a new type of personality. And this new personality creates a new personal reality and gives us new ways of thinking. And these 5 brain waves are delta when you're asleep, theta when you're half awake, half asleep, alpha when you're wide awake but relaxed, beta when you're awake but hyper, and then gamma when you're in bliss. But I want to focus only on 2. One's called high beta, which is what we are all addicted to around the world, and alpha. High beta, we become addicted to without even realizing it because of our addiction to certainty, pushes adrenaline into our bodies. And as it pushes adrenaline into our bodies, it creates an energy of exploitation. It creates an energy of and a false sense of control. And in this state of anxiousness, we can't be adaptable. In the state of frenzy, there's no curiosity about strangeness. All there is protection of what we already know, which means that our human brain never evolves. It continuously stays stuck. Now, I'm Middle Eastern, so I can say it quite comfortably. Middle Eastern mothers, Jewish mothers, Italian mothers, Indian mothers, all mother from anxiousness. Because if you're not worried about your kids, you're a bad mother. What a ridiculous notion that we've created in our culture. No kid wants to be stressed about. They just want to be uplifted, not stressed about. But we don't realize this because we've become duped into this idea that we must be worrying. And we have this false sense of control, but it was Elizabeth Gilbert who said it best. She said, "Oh, darling, you never had control. You just had anxiousness." And so we realize that we become addicted to this fueling by adrenaline that gives us this continuous feeling of being afraid and being anxious for no reason whatsoever. We're living in a world that has got more money, more comfort, more luxury, more of everything you want, and people are more afraid and more anxious for no reason whatsoever. We just got this adrenaline fueling our bodies. The second characteristic is you suffer from OCD, and people are proud of OCD, but you've got to remember, OCD is a dog chasing its tail. You never arrive. It's a fool's game. But because we've got this adrenaline running through our body, we don't know what else to do with it, so we get obsessive. 3, you can't sleep well. And neuroscience is proving to us that if you're addicted to a high beta brainwave for longer than 2 years, your brain never switches off. 25% of it is now always on, looking for danger. That's why when you get to bed at night, you're sleeping lightly, and then you have to take a sleeping tablet or you have to do something because now you just can't sleep. But that's because you become addicted to a high beta brainwave. 3, you have a loud critic inside your head. You're always ugly, fat, and poor when you got a high beta brainwave. You never arrive. You never get there. You're constantly chasing that scenario, which means that you're always stuck in the past. You're never exploring the future. High beta brainwave doesn't allow adaptability. It keeps us stuck into old ways of humanness and not new ways of humanness. But there is another brainwave, and the other brainwave is called an alpha brainwave, when you're wide awake but super relaxed. And the last time you were most probably in an alpha brainwave is when you're on holiday. Quick show of hands here. Do you remember the last time you went on a nice long holiday? Yeah, good. Thank goodness, you hoteliers. I was going to say there's a problem if hoteliers don't go on holiday. So you remember that beautiful long 2-3 week holiday that you went on, right? Do you remember who you were? You must get a new career, my darling. We should go even longer holidays. So do you remember the person you were before you went on holiday? Do you remember that grumpy old person you were? Do you remember how you hated everybody? Do you remember the whole world sucked? Everything sucked. Everything was too expensive. Your husband was fat. Your kids were little idiots. Your boss was a bigger idiot. Everything just sucked. You were fat. You were overweight. You didn't want to go. You just didn't like anybody. And then you go on holiday. And you get on holiday, and the third day you wake up and you're like, whew, I'd forgotten who I was. What happened? Like all that drama at home, stressing myself out. I can't believe what I've done to myself. So stressed out. By day 5, you wake up and you realize your husband's not fat, he's curvy. Very big difference. And by day 7, your kids aren't idiots, they're just expensive. And by day 10, your boss is not a bigger idiot, now you have empathy towards him or her. And what happened? By day 12, you start to realize that you are the problem of all the crap that you've created at home. What's all that's happened? Is that you change brainwaves from a high beta brainwave to an alpha brainwave. That's all that's happened. And so in the alpha brainwave, you now start creating lateral creativity. You start making lists of all the things you should do when you get home. I should spend more time with the kids. I should stop ordering delivery due every second day when I say I'm going to cook. I should stop drinking vodka on a Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. I should. By day 14, you've solved all the problems that you had at home that you couldn't work your way out of a brown paper bag before you went on holiday. Only thing that's changed is you emotionally regulated yourself. And as you start to come back into the real world, you have all the solutions in the world until the third hour of work. And the minute you're back at work, and you'll say these exact words, I can't even remember I was on holiday. And the reason is your brain state changed. You went from an alpha to a beta, and now you're running, and you don't even know where you're running to. You're just running. And so let's look at some of the alpha brain state personalities. One, you're not into exploiting, you're into exploring. You're not focused on an outcome, you're into lateral creativity. And Forbes magazine said it best, said, to help your career and organization thrive in 2024 and beyond, developing and harnessing creative thinking is essential for every leader. They did an interview of CEOs around the world, and they said the number one skill they're looking for is lateral creativity. But lateral creativity and stress do not live in the same body. Impossible. It's the worst idea to think that you're going to call your management team together under heavy pressure and say, let's think out the box, guys. Shut up, stop doing that. You look like a fool. Because what you're doing is you're asking people that have been hired to bring efficiencies to now be adaptable. All of a sudden, overnight. It's like asking Serena Williams to play golf. And now you're going to be upset because Serena Williams is going to be shit at golf. Because she can only play tennis. She can't play golf. But we all expect us people to now all of a sudden become lateral in their creativity under heavy stress, which is almost an impossibility. And the last thing with alpha is that you're in this flow state. And that's some more characteristics about this alpha brainwave is that you have a calm heart and clear mind. Who likes being around people with calm hearts and clear minds? Do you know who makes more money in the world? People that have got calm hearts and clear minds. Why? You make better decisions. It's quite simple. There's no secret around that. When you're highly stressed, you're not making good decisions. You're making defensive decisions, not explorative decisions. 2, you increase your creativity and adaptability when you're emotionally regulated because you're calmer. You can see more. Your eyes literally can see more. You're not tunnel visioned on an outcome because of a high beta brainwave. 3, you're naturally more collaborative. 4, you have got the energy to absorb information you don't usually agree with. And this is the tough one because when you're in a high beta brainwave, you don't want to hang around anybody who doesn't agree with you. Have you seen all the political parties out there in the world? It's because they're all in high stress beta. They don't want to engage with everybody else because they don't agree with them because they're already so stressed. And a good way to think about high beta brainwave is think about a car in second gear on the highway revving at 7,000 revs. And that is cancer, blood pressure, heart disease, all of it. Why? Because our nervous systems are far too revving at far too high for far too long, not allowing us to be adaptable, creative, fascinated, and curious about the uncertainty of the future, only defending the past. And ultimately, when you're in an alpha brainwave, you're excited about the future. You're not defensive of the past.